Warning, listening to this podcast could result in spending or saving large amounts of money. Listener discretion advised.
Strap in for a wildly unqualified adventure with two overly opinionated collectors, armed with good intentions and questionable expertise, as they stumble through a galaxy of toys and collectibles, pretending to know it all, where every figure has a story and every opinion is a showdown. Welcome to Across the Toyverse.
Welcome back, everybody, to Across the Toyverse podcast.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody, 2026. And hey, look here.
I'm looking.
Paper.
Yeah.
Paper, dude. Like,
We have paper finally.
we're official. This is an official podcast. I actually have notes today.
That's
We have notes because we were talking over the break about instead of like maybe changing up our lineup a little bit, just a little bit, not too dramatic. From having a topic that we talk about each week, which we did in the first like 11 episodes, episode 12 being what we're doing today, that we would get into a little bit of the news. So what we'll probably do is collect some news stories from, the week and a half between the time we record, and we'll just kind of give our thoughts on that.
on toy news.
On toy news,
Yeah.
as opposed to like coming up. That way we could be a little more topical, and if there's ever a week that we come up with a topic, it's like, oh, dude, we really need to talk about this. Like, we'll definitely do that. We'll still have the topic-based shows, but we're going to try to do some news stuff. You're going to be collecting some stories that interest you. I'll collect some that interest me, and we'll just kind of talk about it.
Yeah.
But like always, we're going to kick things off with our pickups. But before we do that, before we get to that segment, how was your Christmas and your New Year's?
Fantastic, honestly.
Yeah.
I had probably the best Christmas in recent memory with my family. Just real small, stayed as kind of as small as we could. Heavy focus on like kind of coming up with our own traditions and stuff and making it our own thing.
Yeah.
And it was great. Yeah. And this actually turned out really great. My wife and I agreed before Christmas, we weren't going to buy each other anything. We said, let's focus on our daughter and then just Christmassy stuff in general. And that like removed such a pressure off of me to like come up with something to give her, and worry that it's not as good or whatever than, what she got me. You know what I mean? We just, let's take this off the table. Let's just focus on our daughter and family. And like that, I think that really made a huge difference for us. So that was just something I wanted to share. Anyway, it was great. How about you?
Yeah, likewise. We had a really good Christmas. Didn't really travel. We did go and see some friends for New Year's, like we always do. One of the things my wife and I do is to take the pressure off of buying for each other, since we're focused on our three kids, is that we'll usually just get ourselves a joint gift. We'll just get ourselves something.
Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah,
together.
Yeah,
We both want together as like a joint thing.
that's cool.
So that's so we did that this year, but my mom also wanted to get us something. She always tries to do something really good for like me and my wife. And I was like, why don't you just get us a joint gift, something we could both use? And I asked my mom for a towel warmer, and so we got a towel warmer now in our bathroom.
Okay.
Because it's really cold in our bathroom in the mornings, and so like now that it's getting into the cold season. Man, having a hot towel.
Nice.
It's nice. It's kind of like having a little microwave oven in your, it looks like a trash can. It's got a lid on it. You just dump your towels in there in the morning. You turn the timer on. My wife will turn it on when she gets in the shower. And then when she gets out, she's warm. And then like 30 minutes later, I get in, I get out, my towel's warm. It's beautiful. Warm towels are amazing.
That's nice.
Yeah. You ever go to a hospital and they give you a warm blanket? Man, it's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. Did you make any toy or action figure collecting New Year's resolution?
Absolutely not.
No, not a one.
Not a one. How about you?
I did. My focus is going to be on two things, really. One, less buying of, um, let me say, just superfluous purchases. Like if I just go into a toy store, I'm like, yeah, I really want to buy something today. Um, Not buying a figure that I know I'm gonna end up selling in, like, a month because I'm tired of it, you know? So I'm gonna try to do less of that impulse buying.
Gotcha.
And then the other thing that I have already started to do, is I wanted to, like, keep a log of every figure that I buy
Oh,
and how much I pay for it. Just so, like, for my own accountability, just so that I know, like, what I'm purchasing, so I can look back throughout the year and have, like, a complete picture. I don't know if I'll keep up with it. I hope that I do keep up with it. But yeah, I've done it so far. Like, if I realized that I was putting things on there that I had pre-ordered, but I realized probably shouldn't do that, because if I cancel that pre-order for whatever reason, end up not getting it, then it's on the list and I didn't buy it. So now I've got this thing to where, like, already I think it's got like 8 or 9 entries, but I'm just like, I'm not going to write it down unless I get it in,
yeah.
you know?
It shows up, then it goes in the list.
Yeah, if it
Yeah.
shows up at the house and it goes on the list, I'll write it, not when I order it, but I'll write it when it arrives.
All right.
So I'm doing that just so I can see, have an idea, like, what do I actually spend on action figures in a year? See if it's eye opening, or see if it's like, yeah, that's about what I expected.
That's probably good to know.
You know, but let's take a quick break right here, and when we come back, we'll get into our most recent pickups. Over the past year, Articulated Empire has become your trusted online retailer. They carry all the latest lines like Mythic Legions, Valiverse, AWOC, Zesray Studios, and much, much more. They ship your items quickly and securely. You'll be quite happy with how Steve and his team follow through with their care and attention. Articulated Empire also offers free shipping over $75 and no tax except for Illinois residents. So head over to articulatedempire.com today and build your empire. And we are back with our most recent pickups. Gosh, you've brought some really cool stuff. So,
Yeah.
We don't have to, spend a lot of time per figure, but what are you loving that you've picked up recently?
The most recent is, I believe, this Gong Studios Hush Batman.
Everybody on the whole internet is like buying those figure.
Yeah. It's a pretty great figure. To me, it is not the best Batman figure. I mean, it might be somebody's best. It might be somebody's favorite. It's got some room for improvement. I hope they keep along, doing like this kind of stuff. I would love to see more, not necessarily Hush, let's just like, okay, you got a Hush Batman. Let's do a Superman from somewhere else, but we already know they're releasing a Hush Superman.
Have you seen anything in the Hush Superman promo pics that just visually from the images you can go, oh, that looks like that might be different than what they did with Batman?
Yes, the belt is attached to the trunks, which I think is a good move. I get why they didn't do it with this Batman, because they gave him a much thicker belt. So it's free floating, which is got its pros and cons. I showed you mine. I put a little bit of sticky tape between the belt and the figure to kind of hold it in place, and I like that better, but I think I'm going to replace that belt with something smaller. Anyways, lots to love about this figure. It's not a perfect figure, but what is? And I had an issue with mine when I first got it. His right knee his knees and elbows are double jointed, and his right knee had the lower joint was frozen, and I just could not break it free. I even like he's got soft goods on, so there's not a whole lot I could do without taking him apart. But I even like dipped it in hot water and it didn't loosen it up. I reached out to the company I bought it from, hoping like they would have something for me. And eventually I got tired of waiting, and I figured I may as well go ahead and try something else. So I hit the boot with my heat gun, was able to take the foot and the boot off, and that gave me the leverage I needed to break that joint free. And now he's fine. But our buddy Spencer got his just before I got mine, and he had a similar issue, but his right elbow wouldn't straighten. He said there was a piece of plastic blocking it from straightening. I've seen it, and he was able to fix his after I fixed mine, and kind of gave him some encouragement, I think. And then I've seen online other people saying like they had hip issues with theirs. So this release has been fraught with some QC issues, it seems like, but
Yeah, it seems like, well, yeah, I mean, it's I don't know if it's a new studio, but I've never heard their name before.
Yeah.
I've never seen them release anything. If they have released something, then it's slipped by me. I haven't seen it. And so,
kind of
that's-
weird that it's like a new studio that we've never heard of doing an official release, and then it's got all these QC issues.
yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that that's typically, like you and I have been gushing over, like, the pickup that I'm gonna talk about, which is the Muff Toys, um,
Night
Dark
Vigilante.
Knight Vigilante, which is incredible, which we talked a lot about in our last episode. And the funny thing is that it's been about a little over 3 weeks since we last recorded, and I actually ordered it during our episode, during one of our breaks, and then I have gotten it in, and I love that figure.
Yeah.
And since I ordered it before Christmas, but it arrived well, actually, no, I did get it before New Year's. But I don't care. I'm putting it in my 26 list.
Yeah.
So it was already, we had already done our list. Like, that's the episode we were recording.
I think they're still mailing them out right now anyway. So it's a cusp.
It's on that bubble.
figure. Yeah.
and
It's on the
so-
cusp of the bubble.
Right. That's a situation where, you and I both were like, we knew of their first Superman release, the Dark Knight Superman. Was called the National Defender. We were aware of it, but again, like, when you hear a new studio is making figures, you kind of want to see how that first release goes.
Yeah.
To see if, like, oh, this is a crappy body, or maybe the stitching's not right. But like, yeah, like, both of us were like, dang, I wish I had an National Defender now.
Yeah, because now you can't get one for less than like $300.
Which to me is ridiculous that that the market has allowed it to get that high.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't understand the thought process of, like, paying that much for a 1/12 scale figure. That's 1/6 scale figure pricing. That's Hot Toys level money.
Yeah.
Like, I can't pay that for a 1/12 scale figure. I'm just not doing it.
Yeah, I can see it being like the one. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it on this one. Like, I could see there being the perfect Raphael figure out there that I could spend $325 on.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you're
Well,
talking about like a vintage, like, you really want to get like the second Fright Features Egon from Kenner,
Yeah.
Real Ghostbusters, and you find it mint on card, unpunched, you want to pay a couple $100 for it, knock yourself out.
I think either of us would buy a vintage Superpowers cyborg for that.
Yeah, if I could buy one for 300, for sure.
Right. So yeah. So the possibility of me spending that on a small figure is definitely not.
Yeah, it's not happening.
It's not non-zero, but but on a new, like, on a figure they might still reissue. I'm just not.
Yeah, I'm really hoping. I'm glad you emailed the company and asked them. I'm really hoping that they reissue that figure.
Yeah, I think they should. I think it would be smart for them to do, because this Batman is a huge hit. Like, people love this new Dark Knight Vigilante figure. But before we get away from it, I do want to mention the other figure I just got recently that I've been fully impressed with. Is, oh shoot, I can't think of the company right now, but I got the prank villain, third party, Cesar Romero Batman 66 Joker. He's called the prank villain. I bought mine on AliExpress because they were starting to show up in hands, and I passed on it from like 5K or Toys Metaverse or whoever, just because, like, I saw some of the, like, promo shots and I was like, I don't know if I like this. I'm not sure how I'm gonna like that. And then I saw like a couple of people with in hands photos, and I was like, dang, I messed up. I need that figure, and I went on AliExpress and I got it for basically the same as all these other guys were shipping it out for. I ordered that thing December 23rd. It showed up December 31st.
Wow.
From overseas. And I start posting pictures, and I'm seeing, like, in my comments, people are going, I ordered mine from 5K and they haven't announced that they're shipping yet. And I ordered mine from this other company and they haven't even gotten theirs. And I'm just like, I just found it on AliExpress.
How much does he cost?
I want to say after shipping, I paid about 120.
That's bad.
Less than 125. And they had, and this figure, I don't know who made the heads, but they're like the most accurate, most like lifelike heads I've ever seen. And of course,
That scale is ridiculous.
at that scale,
100%.
and of course the make or break for a Cesar Romero Joker is, does he have his mustache
Oh yeah.
painted white? And he does. You see the texture of the mustache. And so he's a great figure. He's not
This is the reverse Henry Cavill. It wasn't like he was told he couldn't shave it.
Right.
Like he was like, I'm not shaving.
I'm not shaving it. Which a side note, when I grew up watching Batman 66. You could see Cesar Romero. You could see the Joker had a mustache painted white. I always thought that was intentional for the show to make the Joker just seem crazy. Like he grows a mustache, paints it white, and then goes out and pretends no one can see it. I just thought that made him like seem so much more insane.
That's
And
funny.
then I grew up and I get to be an adult and I find out it was just in Cesar Romero's contract because he needed it for other acting gigs. He just wanted his mustache. And he got him to agree. He was just like, they said, we want you. And he goes, mustache stays. And they were like,
It's kind of like the
I love that.
Pedro Pascal clause now. Like he has it where it was like, I will only do a role if I get to keep my mustache. I'm not shaving. Because I think he shaved it for a role in, it was for Wonder Woman.
Okay.
Wonder Woman 88. Remember, he played the bad guy in that. And he shaved it. He said he looked so weird that he would never shave it again.
Maybe that's why I don't remember that he was in it.
Yeah.
He didn't have his mustache.
Yeah,
so
I forgot the character he played, but
yeah,
like it's right there on the tip of my tongue.
he played Mustacheless Dan.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
guy.
It was this guy that he could control people. He could persuade them and alter their minds by like his words, like persuade them and stuff.
Right. But anyway, yeah, this prank villain,
He is phenomenal.
well worth the money. He is great. He comes with a handful of, so he's based on basically the Batman 66 movie, because he's got the accessories from the movie, like the dehydrator backpack thing where they dehydrated all the heads of the nations, whatever it's called.
UN.
The UN. And he's got his board shorts that actually go on over his pants,
Which is why,
and he's got his domino mask so that you don't know who he is.
and of course, he was definitely, that version of the Joker was most definitely the Deadpool of its time.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is why it fits so perfectly with you and your sensibilities and your photographing. There's zero chance. I won't say zero chance that I would buy that figure, but at that price, and I'm looking at him, that is insane quality. I would have to know that there is an equally awesome Adam West Batman coming out.
That's why I passed on him originally. I was like, man, if I know for a fact they're putting out an Adam West, I'm getting it. But then all of a sudden I started seeing it hit people's hands, and I was like, well, now if they release the Adam West and I didn't get this guy, am I gonna be in National Defender territory where all of a sudden he's $300?
Yeah,
So
very possible. I mean, I
Yeah.
could very much see that figure like asking that price.
Yeah.
Demanding that price.
once Adam West comes out, sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I almost wonder why they would do that before putting out a Batman.
It's kind of like the
National Defender.
National Defender coming out before Batman. They know Batman is the draw, and they're like, that's the tease. Like, here's this guy. We got a Batman coming. You better get on it. I don't even care if they wait and do Adam West last, as long as they keep giving me other Batman 66 villains this quality. I'll get every single one. I love that show. They're all classics to me. Like,
Yeah.
I could go on about it, but
Yeah, I remember the very first time we ever got cable. I was like 12 years old, and I was like, my parents showed me like Nick at Night, like Nickelodeon channel on Nick at Night. And then there was like this block we would watch every evening. At 12, I would watch, Batman 66, like, gosh, what else was it? It was like Saturday Night Live reruns from like, the 70s.
Yeah.
Like Green Acres.
Yeah, I was about to say
I got
Green Acres, Petticoat Junction, I think. Yeah, I remember watching all that. Yeah.
just there was like a block of like old school shows from the 60s and 70s, and it was fantastic, and I got hooked on it. And you're right, like on the 66 Batman show, like all the villains were all equally great.
Yeah.
Frank Gorshin's Riddler was awesome.
He's hard to beat, man.
Who was the guy who did Penguin?
Meredith. I almost said Meredith Baxter.
No,
Shoot.
Burgess.
Burgess Meredith. Yeah. From
What's his
Rocky.
name? Yeah, and then
From Rocky and from Clash of the Titans. He was somebody Perseus meets in Clash of the Titans.
Oh, I
So
don't
we were watching that recently, and I was like, that's the Penguin right there. Cool.
They had two very different but both equally amazing Catwomen.
Yeah.
Eartha Kitt and
Julie Newmar.
yeah, Julie Newmar.
Eartha Kitt's my Catwoman. She's just my favorite. I love Julie Newmar. She's great. Like, she is a great Catwoman, but if I had to pick, it's Eartha Kitt. I just thought she was the best. For that little
saw-
growl
I
that
didn't-
she does.
I recently saw something about Eartha Kitt that I was like, I didn't know she did that. Was she in a Bond movie or
She was in an Ernest movie. That's far from Bond, but
I don't know. It's weird. I don't know what I'm thinking.
she was on Ernest Scared Stupid, I think.
Oh no, I know what it was. I had it on. I had it on the Holiday Classics
Ah.
radio station on XM all December, and there was like this famous Christmas song that she sings.
Oh,
And that's what it was. And I happened to look down and then saw that it was Eartha Kitt, and I was like,
Yeah,
Catwoman.
yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't know she was a singer.
yeah.
But they even had a way of making like Jesus, like really bad, goofy villains, like really cool.
Right,
You know,
right.
Egghead and
Egghead.
Pharaoh and
Yeah.
whatever that guy's name was. I just remember they had some, villain of the week stuff, but it was great. I'll talk very briefly about my recent pickups. I've done reviews already of both of them, and that is it's Muff Toys, right? No, that put out the National Defender and Black Dark Knight. Is it
It was 6-inch Chaos.
Chaos Toys?
Yeah.
That's right. That's what it is.
Beyond 6-inch Chaos Toys. That's right.
They have the knockoff Ninja Turtle logo. Did you pick up on that? Like that Chaos? Yeah.
Did I pick up on it?
Yeah, I thought you, yeah. But I love that Dark Knight Vigilante. He is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So good.
Continues to impress.
Yeah, he's great. And then the Storm Arena, Baki Hanma. This is the smaller. You've got your Storm Collectibles Baki Hanma figure out. I would say that Baki is a perfect little pocket figure. I mean, he's like $26. You literally can throw him in your pocket. You don't have to worry. I wouldn't put him in your pocket with like a set of keys because he does have like soft, on his chest, soft rubber on his chest. But man, I took him to Pensacola with me for our trip over the break, and I took him everywhere, and I just snapped pictures wherever I was. And he was just such he poses so well. Like he's the perfect pocket figures. Like every time you play with him, like you can get him in a different pose. Like
Yeah.
that's what I look for in a pocket figure. And yeah, he's significantly. I've heard people refer to him as true 1/12 scale. I don't know what that means because I don't know if there is a true 1/12 scale, but he is considerably shorter than all of my other 1/12 scale figures. Like
Right.
I think people who don't know would be surprised when they get him, especially compared to that one that you have, Storm Collectibles. But yeah, those are my two most recent pickups that I'm loving, and I'm having a lot of fun with. So, yep, absolutely. That's hey, and that's perfect time. About 15 minutes on our pickups. That's about what we normally do. So, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get into our new non-topic but news section. And we're back. We've actually had quite a bit of news that happened right at the ending of the year and right at the very beginning of the year.
Yeah.
It's not typically your biggest news time frame. You typically don't have companies dropping bombshell news right at the end of the year, right before Christmas, or at the beginning of the year, right in January. Or teasing new products. They typically like to let you get into 26, let things settle down and get past the holiday shopping craze before they start hitting us with new products. But man, there's been a lot of news in the last 3 weeks. We took an extra week between episodes for the holidays. But yeah, there's been a lot of news. And so we've got a kind of like a compilation here of some stuff that we're going to talk about. I've pulled some topics. I know you've pulled some topics. They're probably going to overlap. So we'll just, kind of get to it as they overlap.
Sure.
Let's first start off with the bombshell that came from Playmates. Actually, did it come from Playmates or did it come from, I think it came from Playmates, but it might have actually been Viacom because I believe that's where the news came from.
Yes,
Really,
I think you're right. Yeah.
that Playmates, after nearly 40 years of making Ninja Turtle figures, are no longer going to be making Ninja Turtle figures. This is a bombshell.
End of an era.
At the end of an era. And so I so let's first start off with the press release where Viacom, basically, who is they own the rights to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and they are the licensor. And so they basically said there had been ongoing talks to renew the license with Playmates, to give them, have them license it out and be in control of the license, um, since October of last year. And they had come to an end. There was no resolution. And as of December 31st, like 2020, is it 2026? Is that correct? That they would no longer be making. So this is basically the final year. They have decided. I did see a couple of reports where people were saying that it might have been Playmates that didn't want to renew it. That's certainly not the case. It was Viacom was very clear in their press release that
Yeah.
the licensor, will no longer be seeking the renewal of this with Playmates. So I was watching Pixel Dan's video about this that he put out right before Christmas, and I thought he had a very good point. He was like, "Isn't it always about money? It's always about money. So it must be that somebody else put a better offer on the table than Playmates."
Yep.
And so his speculation is that it has to be one of the big two, right? Like it's got to be Mattel or Hasbro that's making a play for this. But we could be totally surprised. Like it could be, like, who knows? Like it would be amazing if Jada Toys somehow wound up,
Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah.
with the main Ninja Turtle license.
I think that would be maybe my pick.
It would certainly be my pick.
Yeah.
Because this is a company that has proven that they can deliver high quality figures,
Yeah.
at the retail space for low cost.
Yeah.
I would love to see them do it, but I mean, the chances are this is Ninja Turtles we're talking about here. I mean, this is high level, like Marvel, Star Wars. It's Ninja Turtles, like a staple of not only the cartoon but the action figure community.
It's something you can count on
Always
in a
being
store.
Yeah,
Always
absolutely.
got Ninja Turtles, Star Wars, and Marvel superheroes. Often also DC superheroes, but like Ninja Turtles are going to be there. And so Playmates has somehow managed to just always stay relevant with the turtle. I mean, the turtles get reinvented every so often. There's a new show. People hate on it, but it's somebody's favorite, so it keeps it going. And that's
So
what
Ninja Turtles is always relevant.
Yeah.
Like you're always going to find that new audience.
Yeah.
And like kids are always going to flock to it. Young kids are always going to be like wanting a Ninja Turtle for Christmas or their birthday or,
Yeah.
report card day or whatever, like allowance money. They're evergreen figures that can always, I mean,
Yeah. Like
I wouldn't know what to do if I went to a store and there's not a Ninja Turtle section.
you go into you go into a store and there's 2 or 3 different variations at least in a Target or a Walmart of
Mhm.
the Ninja Turtles. So whatever in the past 5 to 10 years that has been put out, there's some representation of it, one of the and yeah, it's just something we kind of have come as turtle collectors, but as toy collectors in general, to expect and to like count on. It'd be like if this year in December Christmas didn't come. You know what I mean?
Right.
It'd be like, why does this feel so weird? What are we supposed to do?
This
I don't know what to
really
do with my
does.
hands.
Yeah, it really does feel like the biggest thing would be if Hasbro lost Star Wars, right? I mean, that would be the big thing. I mean, I don't think Hasbro could lose GI Joe. They own GI
They
Joe.
own
It's
GI Joe.
their product. They can't lose it. But Hasbro licenses Star Wars. It feels like that. It feels monumental like that.
Yeah.
Which, if Hasbro did lose Star Wars and went to somebody else, I would welcome that. I'd love to see a shakeup. We've gotten the characters we've gotten. Let's shake up the snow globe and see what happens. But here's something else, in Pixel Dan's video, he jokingly referred to Playmates as a licensee because they were slicing the license up and giving it to so many different people. Like so many people, everybody has a Ninja Turtle.
Oh, yeah.
Here's a slice for you. Here's a slice for you. And I thought that, and it goes along with pizza, right? So it just makes kind of sense.
That's
But
good.
this begs the question of if Playmates loses the master license to license out their product to other people, then what happens to all these third-party companies that have licensed it from Playmates, right? So, like, a good example would be NECA. I mean, a massive portion of NECA's income
Oh, yeah.
comes from Ninja Turtles.
And I have it on good authority because I'm friends with one of the box designers who does the artwork.
Right.
Who just this last year said that they're just getting started. This NECA is he's like, we got so much more stuff. So they're doing, and they've done some really deep dive characters. I grew up reading Ninja Turtles my entire life. They released at least Belly Bomb. I don't know who the hell that is. And I've read so much Ninja Turtles. So they're doing some really deep cut.
2 colors of Belly Bomb.
Yeah. Yeah. Once the blue one showed up, I realized that's probably the original color because NECA likes to do an alternate color first.
Right.
And then release the original color, but they did it with a character nobody knows. So now all the blue ones.
The blue one I see on shelf for clearance out, even at 15. I can't pick it up because I'm just like, I don't even know who and what that is. But the blue one looks cool. The skin tone, flesh tone version, that's upsetting. I can't. That's disturbing.
I didn't get no, I did get the flesh tone one and then I never opened it and I sold it. I was just like, I don't
But
feel like
hey, maybe that's the deal. Maybe NECA is the one that's made the play for Ninja Turtles, and maybe NECA gets it. But then what does that do for all the other companies? But then again, we know how overseas companies work. They don't care. They're like, we don't care if we don't have the license. Like,
dude.
your spring, summer, winter, and fall.
Yeah. I think I said last year you could quit buying licensed Ninja Turtles figures and have plenty of unlicensed Ninja Turtles figures.
You're still going to be broke.
It's still, right. It'd still be broke collecting those. There's so much Ninja Turtles out there. It's a joke within the collector community when a new Ninja Turtle is announced, a new Ninja Turtle line is announced. We jokingly will post, finally, a new Ninja Turtles line.
Yeah. Finally, a new Batman figure.
Yeah.
We don't have enough of those.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, this is big. We don't know what it means, but yeah, it's kind of interesting to see what is gonna come of it. And what does this mean for the people that as it trickles down? I would not be upset, I guess, if NECA got the rights to it. I mean, especially the way they knocked it out of the park the last 4 Ninja Turtle releases from the 2012 animated. But NECA has their own issues. Their prices are creeping up.
Yeah. I'm just about to say, my main issue is Playmates puts out $10 to $15 Ninja Turtles figures on the regular, brand new stuff all the time. And there's just nobody else that can do that. There's nobody else that's going to take this over and put out the quality that Playmates puts out for that price range. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, NECA is definitely not making toys for kids.
Right.
And so I think whoever gets it has to be able to hit that kid market.
Yeah. And that's why
Jada
would be a great pick. The price is going to go up to like $30 a figure, but they're going to be better figures. They're going to look better. They're going to have better articulation. They're just going to be more collectible. So I think Jada would be a good one, but I do hate to see the $10 to $15 range figure go away because I picked up their Godzilla crossovers recently.
Phenomenal.
And for whatever they were, 16, 17 bucks, incredible figures.
Yeah, and then they were clearanced out.
Right.
I was seeing them at my Target clearanced out for like $12.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, these figures are great. Well, that comes on the heels of in January. So right after this was released by Viacom, then Playmates announces they're doing a G.I. Joe crossover.
Yeah. Yeah.
And here's Snake Eyes. And here is, I think one of them, Donatello's Dial Tone.
Yeah.
And we're all and it even looks to me like, because they're doing like the shell cycle, it even looks to me like they're partnering with Hasbro because they've got some pieces from their most current G.I. Joe classified series Ram cycle. Part of that mold looks like the Ram cycle mold, so from Hasbro. So maybe there's some cross company, you know, at play here. I don't know. Or maybe it just looks that way because they said, "Oh, it needs to look like that, so we'll design it that way." But it does look like a similar mold. Um, so it's kind of weird. It's like, yeah, this is our last year, so maybe they're kind of like McFarlane. They're like, well, we'll go out with a bang.
Going out with a bang. Yeah. What else are they gonna do? Go out on a whimper? I mean, yeah. This could have gotten fast tracked too. Is the other thing I was thinking. Since they're like, well, we're losing a license. Let's just throw the rest of our ideas out there. When the animated Justice League show was wrapping up, they were told they had one more season, and so the writers just started adding all these characters they had wanted to add, and it became Justice League Unlimited, and then that was so popular that they got another season, and so they
Oh,
got
that too.
we got 2 seasons of Justice League Unlimited, which was a step up. I mean, all of a sudden, all these great DC characters started showing up in the animated series. Maybe Playmates is making a move like that. Maybe they're like, "Hey, if we show that we can do Masters of the Universe crossover, we can do G.I. Joe crossover, we can do Godzilla crossover, we can do all this other stuff and keep these lines going." Um, Maybe they retain the license. Maybe they're making a play. I don't know. I think it's super cool because Ninja Turtles has always been like the cranberry of IP. They mix with everything, and people don't really question it.
Right.
When those Ninja Turtles Stranger Things figures came out, I was like, I don't need the Stranger Things figures, but I do want those turtles. And you said the opposite, and so that was one of the first things you and I did as friends.
Yep.
Was we bought those sets and
Started
just
dividing them up.
split them up. Yeah, and so I still have those turtles. Um,
Four friends fighting interdimensional monsters. Like, yeah, it
Yeah.
kind of fits.
Yeah, I mean, the turtles in the comics, they're always getting this stuff that they just roll with it. They just go, "Oh, what is this? A time-eating, demon from the hell of universe 684?
Sure.
Sure," and then they ninja chop it, and they figure out how to anyway, I love that they're throwing all this stuff out there, and it does make me wanna go out and get this stuff knowing that, like, they're about to lose the license. This stuff is gonna be like, it's gonna be somebody's grail,
Right.
in the future, and so I kinda wanna it's gonna be my grail if I don't get it now, you know?
I really hope that they get another wave of the Godzilla monsters out before they lose the license.
They
They
have
still
to.
don't have
I don't have all 4 brothers, yeah.
Yeah, Donnie has, which one?
It's Jet Jaguar.
Jet Jaguar, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we at least had been teased on the box, so
Yeah. They at least have to throw that guy out. I would love to see a complete roster of, Ninja Turtles and Godzilla crossover figures, but at least give us the
it is
Donatello.
gonna be sad if they don't get to that, though.
Yeah.
Another company losing a major license in '26, this kinda dovetails into that nicely. Again, there is also some sadness with this, for me, is, of course, McFarlane is losing the DC license, at the end of '26, even confirmed by Uncle Todd himself, um, at the toy fair, or no, it was, New York Comic Con. So I do have some notes here that I pulled. These are from 2 different stories from toynewseye.com, which I read every day. They had an initial story that went up in October of last year of 25, and then, they kind of touched on it again recently, the first week of January. So just to kind of, like, go over things, like, a little bit of the history here, because I had to refresh myself on the history, was that the DC license left Mattel in 2020, and it was split into 2 parts. The kids figures went to Spin Master, and then the adult collector stuff went to McFarlane. So, so all of the, if you go a couple of aisles over from where we typically shop in Target and you go to the kids aisle, all of the Batcave and Superman mobile and all the crazy vehicles and play sets and stuff, the little miniature figures and all that, that's all Spin Master stuff. Even some of the stuff on our toy aisle is Spin Masters. And then all of the adult collectors, of course, McFarlane has had, and he's been putting it out like it's going out of style. Maybe he knew. Um, but their contract was through the end of 26 initially, and so this is just DC not renewing it with McFarlane. What we do know is that Mattel will start releasing more kid-friendly types of DC toys sometime in 26. We now have a better window for that. Um, but it does say that it looks like the release window for the more adult-oriented action figures will be sometime in 2027. So I don't think we're going to see the actual replacement from Mattel for the McFarlane stuff in 26. The Spin Masters portion of the license switches back to Mattel sometime in 2026. The McFarlane portion doesn't change hands until the end of 26, beginning of 27. McFarlane confirmed this himself at in 2025 at the New York Comic Con interview, where he basically said, "Yeah, we're going to be producing stuff through the end of the year next year, meaning 26, and there may be some overlap." But what we have to remember is that McFarlane doesn't just have the DC multiverse stuff, right? Like within DC multiverse, there's all the sublines of page punchers, which have both 7-inch figures, but also like 3.5-inch figures. Then he's got his movie line that he's putting out, this whatever they call theatrical editions that come out of the DC multiverse. Then he also is doing my personal favorite, which is the superpowers, like Kenner remakes and updates and renews, which he's doing. And that's the part I'm sad to see go away, because there's still so much more superpower stuff I want, which he's made a ton of. And then there's also some of the 7-inch figures are released under the DC Direct banner, which is also very confusing.
Yeah.
So, and then there is the smaller, medium, and large size statues that he's doing of Marvel characters. So we don't know. Like McFarlane he said in that New York Comic Con interview that he's hoping to be able to keep his fingerprint on some stuff. So does that mean he gets to keep doing stuff under the DC Direct banner? Does he lose it all completely and he gets to touch nothing DC related? Does he only do the statues or the posed, stacks figures? Does he get to keep making superpowers, which I would love for at least that line to continue? I don't care who makes it, as long as it still looks just like the old stuff. Yeah, we don't really know what exactly it means. We do know a couple of things about the line. So there has been some leaked info about the DC stuff from Mattel. It does look like the first things that we're going to see are 6.5-inch action figures. So again, it's not 6-inch, but it's also not 7-inch. It is 6.5-inch figures. The leaked information refers to them as DC Universe, and we will see a release in July of 26. So this lines up with the stuff coming out in June, July of 26, being the kid-focused stuff at 6.5 inches, which is interesting. Typically, you would see that line be in the 4 or 5-inch range. But the first wave of figures were also leaked, saying that it would be Batman, Robin, the Joker, and the Flash. And you can probably make it a safe bet that these are not going to be probably comic book specific versions, or like specific storyline specific versions, or cartoon specific versions. These are probably, or even movie versions. These are probably going to be your basic classic designs, your evergreen designs.
Yeah.
That don't really change with
It
the
kind of
time.
can fit in wherever you need it to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's sort of what I was thinking. And that's the direction Mattel was going before they lost the license originally.
Right.
Because and I've shared pictures of this recently, I have the Harley Quinn that Mattel released in the 6-inch. And she doesn't look specifically like any Harley Quinn from any comic that I've noticed.
Yeah. Those were called the DC Universe Classics.
Yeah, that's right.
And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think they might have been sculpted by the Four Horsemen.
Okay. I busted her out recently to compare to Marvel Legends, and it's sub Marvel Legends articulation. but it's close,
Yeah.
and the sculpt is good. It felt like a solid figure. It had a handful of accessories. So I would like personally, I would love for them to get back into that, but it sounds like that's not really the plan. Um, I think 6.5-inch is a safe bet because it can match well enough with your 6-inch figures or your huge collection of McFarlane 7-inch figures, and they can kind of play in that sort of zone because you've seen with the McFarlane figures, like you showed on one of your reviews recently. You had two Batman from McFarlane, and they're like an inch apart
Yeah.
almost. They were one
Yeah.
was almost a head taller than the other one. So
6'7".
6, 7, something like that. So um, I think 6.5-inch is them kind of trying to keep everyone interested. Marvel Legends collectors who collect 6-inch, and people who already have so many McFarlane 7-inch figures who are just like, what now? And they're like, well, ours are gonna be right in the middle. I would love to see both Marvel and DC, whoever has the license to each figure, just come together and try and release something along the same line so that I can walk
Yeah.
into a store and go, cool, I want this Batman and I want this Spider-Man to go home and like pose next to each other. But
Yeah.
yeah, I would love that. And I don't, frustrates me to no end that we haven't been able to do that for a long time.
Yeah. Just last weekend, I was rearranging my toy room, and I put up my Batman tribute shelf, which notably has a lot of McFarlane Batman figures in it, and they just kind of tower. For the most part, they tower over everything else, like the Esco,
Yeah.
all of these 1/12 third-party companies, whatever. They're just towering over them.
Right.
But damn, has he made a lot. Like, I was blown away there. I had so many, and I'm like, I know I haven't bought every one that he's put out. But it does say that the ones that are coming in 26 will be the kid-focused ones. So these are not gonna be the ones that
Right.
are competing with McFarlane
Oh, you're right. That's kind of a big size for a
for a kid's toy.
kid focused. Yeah.
Um,
So
there was
we'll
also
see.
a lot of talk too, because a lot of people, so I don't know where I come down on this argument, but a lot of people said that it might have been a legal reason that McFarlane could not make a
Yeah.
6-inch figure
Yeah.
at the time, because Mattel was still making 6-inch figures.
Yeah.
And the legal reason that he went to 7 was because he couldn't make a 6, right? But then other people made the point, and I also see this makes a lot of sense too. If he made them 7 inches, then you had to buy everything brand new. You had to go to square one. You couldn't buy one of his Superman and put it with a Mattel Batman. They're not going to fit. They're not in the same scale. So, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a little bit of that at play.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so much that we don't know. I'm assuming that we'll see a lot probably coming up at Toy Fair. Like, isn't that one of the bigger shows
Yeah.
towards the beginning of the year? We may see some sort of like even digital renders if we don't see like full prototypes. But I imagine that if they're putting figures out on shelves in July, they have to be pretty well through that. Like, they need to be done with tooling probably at this point and be into production.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're looking at like a month and a half
Right.
to leave customs, cross the ocean, clear customs. So, like, yeah, I mean, even though we're only in January, like, they have to be probably in production of those figures right now. So I don't think they'd be insane to think by February or March that we would not see like full painted prototypes or even just paint masters. Um, I'm interested. I love DC. Most of my favorite superheroes are from DC. Um, I'm not interested. I don't currently have like a DC collection. Like, I just buy figures that I like. So McFarlane makes a cool Batman, I buy it. Mezco makes a cool Batman, I buy it. SH Figure Arts, I buy it. Like, third party companies I've never heard of, I buy it. So like, I don't feel like it's not impacting me in a negative way, like
Right.
across the board, because I'm not collecting them like Hasbro says, oh, we're done with G.I. Joe and Bob's Toys is now making G.I. Joe. Shit, now I got to start all the way over.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like that. Like, for me.
I hope they don't give it to Bob's Toys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm less that way these days too because you see what I do a lot. Like I was looking back at my photos from last year from 2025, and beginning of the year I did more photography with dioramas and stuff, and so I need things to kind of fit without having to do too much forced perspective. Um, but then I started getting into doing really just like pose compilation videos where I would just get a cool figure that poses really well, put it through the, the motions and try and get at least a dozen good photos and just do a little, video collection of those. And so I started doing that more, but I really love doing the toy photography diorama stuff. And so it's just really nice when everybody kind of more or less matches.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you can get a taller 6-inch and a shorter 7-inch to work together. This new Gong Studios Batman, he's a little tall for 6-inch, a little short for 7-inch. So he works pretty well. But that's what I was thinking when you said that they announced that the new line was going to be of the Mattel was going to be 6.5-inch. But then again, if they're the kids line, then it doesn't sound like that's something I'm going to collect. So,
But it also does say like their second wave is expected to be released in the fall around September timeframe. Does that mean that that's a second wave
right.
of the kids' toys, or is it the first wave of the adult collector stuff since it's more towards the end of the year? I don't know.
I see them doing kids and then kids again, and then maybe next year starting with the adult collector stuff. It seems weird to me to do like a wave of kids toys middle of the year and then a wave of adult toys at the end of the year, almost adult collector toys, not adult toys.
I got you. Different type of plastic.
Yeah, different.
So let me ask you this. If, let's pretend that Mattel is listening. What do we want? What would we like? What would be our grocery list from their adult collector line? Like price point, accessories, soft goods, like what? Let's kind of go through that a little bit. What would you expect? What's you're like, we got to check these boxes.
Yeah. Right out of the gate, I'm saying 6-inch, at least near Hasbro articulation, like Marvel Legends articulation, and just use the Marvel Legends as a template is what I think.
Double joint knees and elbows.
Double joint pinless knees and elbows.
Regardless of the character, the size, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like regardless. Don't pull this Star Wars Black Series stuff where they're like, well, we didn't want to break up the sculpt, so this one we said no thigh cut. Like, don't do that.
Yeah.
No, like put it on all bucks.
Yeah. Just give us a standard. But yeah, I would say it almost seems pointless to ask now, but like, can we go back to $25 a figure, man? I mean, $30 for Marvel Legends, just a standard Marvel Legends, that's getting to be too much, man. And then NECA is going up to $40. Like, what was the new Casey Jones that's coming out is $40, and just I don't think they're that good. I was happy with NECA at 30, and they were creeping up to 35, and I remember saying that they're worth 35. I remember saying like, I'm not crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I know whenever there's a price increase, we all go, that's crazy. But NECA was giving us really good figures for $30. So when I felt them going up to 35 because it just seemed like, man, these are really good for 30. And then they were like 32 and then 34, whatever. So now they're creeping up to 40, and I'm just like, I don't think they're $40 figures.
So let's play this game. Let's say that there's no price increase across the board for figures in 27. Let's say that even though that there's a price increase right now, which, by the way, I'd like to comment that Marvel Legends said across the board their figures are going to be $27.99. You order them online, if you order them from Amazon, if you order them from Walmart or Target or whatever, the figures are Big Bad Toy Store. Marvel Legends are $27.99. But I bought that guy in Target, that brand new Spider-Man, the No Way Home, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. I bought him. He was $24.99. So I don't know if Target just didn't get the memo, or they don't care, or I don't know. I have no idea.
Yep.
Maybe it's their base figure and the other Marvel Legends that come out are 27. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's one of those evergreens that's going to hang around. But let's say that there's no price increase with Marvel, Hasbro across the board. And let's say that they are going to come in at $27.99. What are you expecting?
Okay.
Like out of the package, $27.99. I'm expecting double jointed arms and elbows and knees, butterfly points,
pinless double jointed knees and elbows.
Right.
For
check across the board.
Yeah. Butterfly joints.
Butterfly joints check.
At least 2 heads, like one standard, like one normal head, one yelling head, or whatever, one action, one smiling, whatever.
Yeah, or they could do face plates or swappable hair.
Yeah.
I mean, all these companies are doing it. G.I. Joe is doing it very easily. McFarlane's even doing it. Hey, if McFarlane's doing it, he's doing the bare minimum. So
Right.
he's doing it.
And then give us at least one other set of hands per figure that makes sense for that figure to have.
Right.
Don't give me Wolverine with trigger hands, because Wolverine's never shooting a gun, except the world now they have one that does shoot a
Yeah.
gun.
Oh, I need to get that out and let you check it out. It's
Used
a
to
bunch
be
of
able to
figure.
used to be able to say that Wolverine's not shooting a gun, but like somebody
They also, by the way, they also give him a knife.
right, saw you
So-
too. But yeah, just thoughtful. Like, let me know when I look at this figure that you know who the hell this is. When I look at those accessories and I see Professor X and he's got trigger fingers, I feel like you don't know that. You thought this was
Right.
goddamn
If you're making
Commando
Cyclops
clean or something.
and he doesn't come with like the 2 fingers pressing to his head, or
Right.
even a Professor X for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that level of if
Yeah.
there's if it's Gambit and he's holding the card, like I need
Yeah.
that.
What was that one Spider Boy
Right. Oh, yes.
who came with whipping hands? And Spider Boy famously is the webless wonder. He does not thwip. And they put him in with flipping
He
hands.
bounces.
Yeah. So
Did you guys even read the comic?
show me you know who this is if you want me to spend more and more and more money each time. Yeah.
I will give Hasbro the benefit of the doubt on that figure, and I'm gonna tell you why. Somebody in some review, and it might have even been Rocco the Great, who said, when a kid goes into a store and buys a Spider-Man figure, he wants it to thwip. And that makes sense because they did give that figure 2 heads. They give him one that has the 2 eyes with no mouth. And in the comic, when he uses his fang power, like to bite you and paralyze you, he does have like multiple eyes that show up because it's like his extra sense. He's like, his spidey sense is so strong he can see into the future. So on the secondary head with the fangs out, they give him the multiple eyes. So somebody on that team knew some of the history of the comic, but then somebody else said, we're putting thwip hands in. He goes, he doesn't shoot well. I don't care.
Yeah.
Thwip hands are going in.
The old curmudgeon-y
Yeah.
Marvel Legends designer was just like, but back in my days, Spider-Man had whip hands, and I'm giving him a dadgummit, this was gonna happen. Yeah.
Swapping cigar ash everywhere. Man, where's the thwip hand?
Yeah.
This one doesn't do that. Oh, Spider-Man, yes it does.
And I'll be dadgummed if a Spider-Man's gonna go out on that shelf without whip hands.
J. Jonah Jameson's running the Spider-Man department at Marvel Legends.
Played by Ernest Borgnine.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so either you're like every single character either comes with like multiple sets of hands or an extra head. I can understand if you're not going to do both, but you better do at least one of the other.
Yeah, there's a handful of people that don't need an extra head, but most should,
Or even at like an effect piece. Like if you're not going to give me an extra head, then maybe an effect piece, like
Sure.
a psychic sense or flame effect or something.
I want more effects pieces for sure, because they're so like, it seems like everybody's scaling those back. Even SH Figure Arts and SH Monster Arts suddenly decided, oh, Godzilla doesn't need to have effects pieces. So like, I don't understand what this new thing is with them putting out these figures that are known for these powers and they're not giving us the powers. Like, where am I supposed to get that? When I want to display this guy on my shelf, how am I supposed to do that if you're not giving me?
Well, I just got into buying a couple of Dragon Ball Daima figures.
Yeah.
And yes, SH Figure Arts has cut back on the accessories, but SH Figure Arts also wants me to buy their Dragon Ball Z accessory pack. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that I understand. But yes, you're right. Like Hasbro has cut back on effects pieces across the board. Marvel Legends, there's only a few that I can think that come with them. G.I. Joe, Blast Effects have gotten less and less. But other companies like Operation Monster Force or Valaverse or whatever, like they're coming with effects pieces. Every one of their figures comes with blast effects, smoke effects.
Yeah.
Like we need that. Like as toy photography has become far more like a thing that people do, it's become more prevalent. I think these toy companies, even the big toy companies, need to take recognition of that. I need to recognize that.
Yeah.
And
That's how I decide what I'm gonna buy and what I'm not. Like,
yeah.
I watch people's toy photography, and I go,
Mhm.
okay, this guy looks like he's got better range of motion than I thought, and I definitely want him. But am I also gonna have to go out and find our effects pieces?
I also, this has got to be a thing, wired cloth capes. Like we are so over like plastic capes. Like there is no need for this.
Almost no. Like there's some that kind of makes sense. A character with maybe a shorter cape or something.
Hmm.
I could see an argument for some,
I can see the
but it still
argument.
should be soft plastic.
Right. Yeah. Very pliable because if this is for, if there's like kids involved, then you're probably play sets come with chairs, vehicles come with seats, and they have to be able to sit down. And you don't want to make like a special cloth good version,
Yeah.
later on down the line to fit. Whereas you can just make it fit from the get go. But I can see the argument for sculpted hoods, but soft goods capes. Like
Yeah.
this is something that I do like that Hasbro will do with Star Wars is sometimes like with like a Palpatine, the hood has to drape in a very specific way. And if you're not going to put in a wired hood to where I can wire it and move it and position it that way, then go sculpted route. I'll take a sculpted hood, but then I want the cloak to be soft goods
Yeah.
because I want to be able to move the guy around or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So just stuff like that that makes sense. And you give a character a soft cloak. Okay, now I can forgive that he doesn't come with something else.
Right.
So just we need to, and I think Hasbro was the one that released that their report card from last year. They like
Mm-hmm.
checked themselves, and I guess they gave themselves an A-, which is funny.
Yeah.
Like they told us, here's what you guys said, and then they said we give ourselves an A- on based on what you said. Like,
Right.
okay, well, I don't have access to all the things people have said to you, but
Sure.
I know how I feel about what you.
I read the comments though.
You're right. But anyway, so they said that one of the things people said a lot was no price increase without showing a value increase. And
Right.
I think that's, first off, duh, but also big of them to say,
Right.
say, you guys said you wanted us to show
We
you
hear you.
where the value is. Yeah. That we're listening, and like, okay, let's see what they do with that, in the future. But yeah, absolutely. If the price is going to go up, show me why. Don't just tell me reasons.
I'm also going to say this is one of the things where I think McFarlane does a great job at, and it's something that I want to see everybody take up and start doing is I want to stand with every figure.
Mm.
I stand with it costs you nothing. That's a penny. It's 2 pennies.
Yeah.
Throw that in there. I need to stand with every figure. G.I. Joe only does it with their retro card releases. Hasbro does it with Star Wars. They don't with Marvel Legends, unless it's like a flight stand and it's and then that's going to be a deluxe character. So they're plussing it up already. But I'm going to go, I need to stand. I will stand. Don't make me buy a third party 200 stands from a third party company.
Right.
Please don't make me do that.
Yeah. And especially with a lot of these companies, Hasbro included, using cheaper and weaker plastics with, figures that just, you stand it up there, and then the ankle, the legs, something, especially like the female figures with like the thinner plastic ankles, and they just don't stand very well. They eventually start to fall down, especially if you start putting them in like dynamic poses. That's not gonna be a problem with this Baki Hanma from Storm Arena.
Even though he comes with a great base. He comes with the Storm Arena base that you got with Ken and Ryu. It's the exact same. And I'm glad they did. I love that base. But yeah, he doesn't need one.
Yeah.
Unless you get him into some, like trying to put him up on his toes. Then yeah, you're going to need one. All right. Do we have any don'ts? Do you have any, please don't do this?
I think I kind of covered like the don't slap a trigger hand on every figure.
Yeah.
Because I don't, they don't all need it. And don'ts, I don't know.
I'm going to say, don't put a trading card in there.
Yeah.
I don't need a trading card.
Yeah.
I feel guilty for throwing it away.
Yeah.
I also feel like I have to keep it in case I resell it. Then it's like, well, it's going to be worth more because it comes with a card.
Right.
Don't give me a card.
Don't give me extra stuff to have to hang on to.
Yeah.
That no one's asking for. There's nobody who said, how come these figures don't come with trading cards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need And I'm just gonna say NFTs, that kind of thing. That's not a thing anymore. People have realized like what
Yeah.
the rest of all of us knew from the beginning is that collectible JPEGs is dumb. But what I mean by that is don't give me digital content that you're pretending like is added value to a toy. The way McFarlane does is like, oh, but this is a digital edition and it comes with a digital collectible of this character. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I'm not one of the dumbest things I've ever heard Todd McFarlane say was when he was said, well, let's think about our Japanese our friends who
Oh, yeah.
when spacing in their apartments is so small.
Yeah.
But, they wanna collect McFarlane stuff too, so now we give them a digital showroom where they can collect and display their own figures in a digital showroom, and I'm like, "That's gotta be one of the stupidest things that you have ever said." Right up there with men don't buy female action figures.
Yes. He sat up all night thinking of that. He was
He's
like,
like, "That's a good excuse."
how am I gonna pitch this?
And I like Todd McFarlane. I don't have a problem with him. I'm just saying that's dumb. I would say that if you said that, I'd be like, I love Scott, but that's dumb. Like, let's think about our Asian.
Digital showroom. Are you hearing yourself right now? Yeah.
Yeah. But look, I collect basketball cards, and there's a digital version of the basketball card. You can collect just the digital version on your phone. And I was looking for a card, like a physical card, to complete the set that I have. And I went on eBay, and there were people selling digital cards for the app for like $15 and $20. They're like a Cooper Flag. He's a very like well-known, very hot young rookie, plays for the Dallas Mavericks right now. And his digital basketball card with his digital signature, it was an autograph card, was like $15 on eBay. And I'm like, who's buying this?
Yeah, that's wild.
Like you're going to buy it for 15, they transfer it to your account, you now have it, but you still don't have an actual autograph of Cooper Flag. You have a picture of an autograph of Cooper Flag. That's what you have. And I'm like, why would anybody?
Yeah. I can't imagine. That's weird.
Like, so that's what it smacks of to me.
Yeah.
It's like, well, this digital version is your version, but it's gold, but it's also digital. Yeah, but that's a 3D render. Like I can't pose that. I can't put that in post.
Could have made it any color label you wanted.
Right. I don't. Yeah. So don't pack in like intangible value.
If you ask me right now, hey, you want to look at my digital display of my figures? I would say no.
No. But do you want to go in my toy room and check out my show?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go look at those.
Well, think about this, guys. You don't have to dust your figures. You don't have to dust them because they're digital forever. You don't ever have to dust them.
We're saving you. We're saving you.
All that space danger, you're never in space danger, guys. But your figures are all. Anyway, dude, this has been. I like this. I like us talking about news, and that way there's no pressure on us to come up with this very specific topic. Was there any other stories that you collected from the last 3?
That was the main thing I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
The licenses being lost by these two big guys, and yeah, that was I thought the most pressing stuff from right now. So
Yeah, me too. Well, why don't we wrap up the episode there? I hope you guys have enjoyed listening to this and our new format of covering some news. That way we can stay a little bit more topical. And I think both of us were feeling kind of the pressure of like, man, what do we want to talk about this week? Like we got to have a topic. We don't always have to have a topic. What's going on in the news? Let's make that the topic.
let's do it.
So hopefully you guys will dig that. Again, like always, when this episode goes up, we'll try to get up as fast as possible. We'll load up our Instagram across the Toyverse. It's actually across_the_Toyverse. Check us out there on Instagram. We'll upload some pictures of all the toys that we have out on the table and that we're talking about and that we've been discussing in this episode and others. And it's good to be back. We're in 26, new year, new toys,
Yeah.
new journey. So I guess we'll see you guys next week across the Toyverse.
Later.